What's up? Welcome back to the Ginger Binge. Today we are going to talk about Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If that sounds any good to you, keep on watching. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, flame, because I'm sure I'll have a lot of people who disagree with me on this. Or just give me your opinions on your ranking of Phase 1. So I recently did a rewatch of all 20 Marvel films. I went into it thinking, going off of memory, that certain films would rank lower or higher than other films, and I was right for the most part, but some films surprised me. So the worst film in Phase 1 is I will not accept any arguments on this one. I know people who actually like this film, and I don't trust them. And that film is Thor. Kenneth Branagh thought it'd be a good idea to mix comic book canon with Shakespeare and Norse mythology, and it's the ultimate snooze fest. I can't stand that movie. I didn't like it when I first saw it. I thought it was a film that maybe it had to grow on you and you had to keep watching it. I've since watched that film like a solid 6 times, and I still don't like it. I've given it a billion chances, and I wish I could get all of those hours of my life back. You would think a fish out of water story would be exciting, and it's really not. I feel like Thor doesn't really grow in this film, and I feel like it's not Thor's film. I watched the film and I most empathize with Loki, a child who'd been taken from his homeland and raised as another race without being told who he truly is. So he spent the last couple hundred years thinking he was one thing and he wasn't, and that he learns his whole life is a lie. And who else is there to pay the consequences than his annoying, hyper-masculine, entitled, spoiled brat of a brother? The best part of Thor is Hogan and Heimdall making racists mad because fictional gods/aliens can't be anything else but white. I watched that movie and I just don't care about Thor, which is crazy because as a individual I care about Thor a lot, but that film makes me wish he didn't exist. Like it's that bad. It's that bad. Thor's in my top 3 MCU characters, and he has the worst origin story out of everyone. Trash. Big heaping pile of dog shit. I fucking hate that movie. Ranking it at number 5 is a film that I thought I loved because I would watch it all the time when it was on TV, when in reality it's not good. And that film is Iron Man 2. You have all this money and you just want to sulk. I don't understand. And we know that Howard Stark is a negligent father, but this film, we're supposed to be okay with all of his abuse because he told Anthony that he's his greatest invention after he's dead. And then we have Justin Hammer, who is simultaneously the worst part of the film and the best part of the film. Worst because he couldn't hurt a fly. He doesn't scare anybody. The only harm that he's done is to that guy who died in his suit. But he's also the best part of the film because any film where I get to see Sam Rockwell dance is a good film. That 10 seconds of him cutting up the Stark stage fills my entire soul. The 4th best film in Phase 1, I was surprised that it got ranked this high. Seriously, I thought it would be at the dead end. I thought that I couldn't hate a film more than this, and it turns out I was wrong. That film is The Avengers. This is a film that I think I've only seen about 4 times in my life. It's on the lower side of all of these rewatches because I can't stand it. I can't stand Joss Whedon. I think he's a terrible writer. I think that his sexism shows with how he writes Natasha, and he sucks at writing Cap. He writes Cap like he's a 100-year-old man who is just flavorless and bland, and that's not the Steve I know. Steve has personality. He has a sense of humor. He's not all grandpa-ish. He's in his fucking 20s. He's fine with curse words. He was in the military, for crying out loud. Why it's so cringeworthy. Like, I can't. This is the best we're ever gonna see Hawkeye is in Avengers, because it's all downhill from here. Look, just the very first scene that we see Bruce, I was like, that's my man. This is something I have to definitely, eventually, one day talk to my therapist about, and that is when he says, "That's my secret, Cap, I'm always angry." I cry every single time. If I ever watch this movie with you, first off, congratulations for getting me to rewatch this film that I hate. But also, if I watch this film and don't cry during that part, I'm a Skrull, and you need to find out what they did with my body. Loki's vengeance is valid as always. He wants to be powerful, and I don't blame him for going to Thanos and kicking it with the Chitauri and just wanting to conquer a planet like his adopted father did his. You know, like, you can't blame him for that. Coulson, R.I.P. my nigga Coulson. It's an okay film. I no longer think of it as a terrible, shitty, disastrous heap. At number 3 is a film that no one considers canon, even though it is. No one has watched it, or no one likes it, except me. And that is The Incredible Hulk. I greatly enjoyed this film. I remember I was huge on this film when it came out. I've since cooled down on it. It's not the best, but it's the best Hulk film that we're ever gonna get. Ed Norton does a decent job as Bruce Banner. It's a run-of-the-mill superhero film. We get a very minimal origin story. We've seen it before. Everyone knows, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We don't have to rehash it. The number 2 film in phase 1 for me is Captain America: The First Avenger. He goes from a eugenicist's worst nightmare to a eugenicist's wet dream. It's not just he goes from zero to hero. He goes from zero to fake hero to real hero and to martyr. I feel like if you like history, you like this movie. So that leads us to the number 1 film in phase 1. Definitely one of my highest rated superhero films of all time. Within the MCU or without, doesn't matter. This film is bomb. Disney was like, let's do some more superhero movies. And for some reason they hired the guy who directed Elf to do that. And don't get me wrong, he's like the love of my life. He's in my top favorite directors of all time. But that's an odd choice for sure. And what's even odder is them trusting the Elf guy with casting someone who was previously uncastable for a little over a decade. We have a character that starts off as a war profiteer, and he's so smarmy and conceited. Just overall unlikable man. And because he experiences the consequences of his own actions, someone gives him a taste of his own medicine, he turns his life around. And that is so beautiful to me. Because if you are okay with children in other countries dying, you have to be okay with children of your own country dying. So my favorite character in Iron Man is Yinsen. Yinsen really radicalized him because he opened his eyes to show Tony that it's not just angry brown terrorists in the Middle East. There are Yinsens there. And I kind of have a problem with that because it shouldn't take that for someone to care about other human beings, but hey, it worked. And that's really my only complaint about the film. Otherwise, it is very good. We have Obadiah Stane, who's a fantastic villain. Jeff Bridges did what he had to do, and I don't blame him at all. I would kill Tony given the chance as well, especially if I worked under him. He's a fucking annoying little brat, even regardless of what he's been through. I don't blame Obadiah, not one bit. I have a love-hate relationship with Tony Stark, but it's a fun ride and it's perfect casting. Robert does an amazing, no one else could play Tony Stark, let's be real. If you agree or disagree on my rankings of these films, please let me know. I know that some of these opinions are controversial. I don't really give a fuck, or else I would not have made this video. So yeah. See you guys when I complain about Phase 2.